Greetings everyone and welcome back to Woven Tales and of course to Going Medieval, where in the last episode we managed to finish up a pretty large project over here, or rather the beginning hang on a second. Ooh. Well, let me finish my first thought. I am being distracted, Aavak. We have finished laying, well, mostly finished, the groundwork for our foundation on the Great Library over here. But I just noticed that this looks surprisingly good back here. Oh my lord. I need to be in screenshot mode more often, it appears. Let me get rid of these. That looked amazing. I like it a lot. We also added a few little odds and sods around the map in general, and little by little, Woven Tales is continuing to, well, weave a tale. But, yes, I quite like what we had over there, and I've got a couple of new ideas for this area in particular. Now, as we have been progressing through the game, I'm definitely starting to feel that we're getting to a point where my focus is shifting from functional to narrative. We've got a pretty effective settlement, as evidenced by the bodies of all those who wish to do us harm, just kind of littering the ground outside. We need to get a little bit of a better area for burning those bodies. By the way, that's definitely on our list as well. However, more and more, the things that I'm building are not built out of necessity or any kind of functional need, but rather because I like the idea of the story of Woven Tales having that element to it. And while we're working on building up our great library over here, I feel that there is another element that we can add. Wow, we've got so many smoke houses over here. It's fantastic. I imagine it smells glorious in this area. But one of the things that occurred to me is that we're building upwards to have a brightly lit library, all the knowledge that we wish to share with the peeps here of Woven Tales. Actually, I suppose I'm going to pull this down as well so I can replace the floor properly. Damn it, we've got too many things we need to replace. However, our brightly lit library, full of the texts that we're happy to allow wandering scholars to read. Well, that I feel that in making a home for the text that we want to share with people, it kind of supposes the existence of text that we don't want to share with people. What about the forbidden knowledge? What about the ancient grimoires and heretical texts that the scholars of Woven Tales have discovered? Or perhaps not even heretical, just dangerous in the wrong hands. Knowledge is power, and as we know, power in the wrong hands can be incredibly ill-fated for everyone involved, really. So we need not just a vaulty, well-lit library section above, but we need a dimmer section below for the unmentionable text, the ancient scripts that perhaps the restitutionists would want burned, but this is not a book-burning colony. No. We will not commit any knowledge to the flame. No, we will create a suitable place that one day might become a warehouse where other ancient artifacts are sent, perhaps by some sort of dashing, lovable rogue like professor character. Who knows? But for now, we need an area down below. We want a basement area to our library. You may be wondering also why I'm tearing down the workbenches. Well, I've decided that we really didn't have enough room. It was actually getting super cramped for our people as they were moving around. So I'm thinking it would probably be best for us to have the level 2 research benches over here, because those are 2 by 3. And I can have those opposite each other because that'll give us 2 spaces between. But the 3 by 3 advanced research benches and the 1 by 3 regular research benches will still allow us to have 2 tiles to pass through. And I think it's just going to look a little bit better in the end. So a slight rejig of the design over here just to afford us a little bit more room to move, I think is well in order. Let's get those in position. There we are. There's still a little bit of a narrow gap there, but look, okay, I can't solve every problem in the world. That being said, actually, I can solve every problem in the world. I take it back. I'm awesome. We're going to move these around a little bit. And just a slight switch to their positioning should give us everything we need to have 2 tiles everywhere we walk. Ah, happy days are these, happy days. Right, as for the rest of Woven Tales, things are coming along apace. We do need to get rid of these bodies a little bit faster than we are up to now. And I'm starting to think that maybe I should do something similar that I did over there. And that is fill in some clay walls and just bring this area out. But it kind of goes against my my wishes to have a more natural looking perimeter. I really love what we've done over here. I think it looks amazing just outside of the stone walls. This dry stone walling just has such a fantastic effect. I think I'd like something similar over here. Well, the problem here is it doesn't have some sort of terminus point, which is actually a little bit of a problem. And I don't want to have too much in the way of heavy stonework or really signs of human industry, I guess, or bricks. Wooden log walls, they're about as industrial a look as I want in the Oak Brethren temple area. So I don't want to have tall stone walls, but perhaps having some sort of tower out here would make sense. And I could have a wall perhaps hooking up to that, or maybe have a tower to terminate this wall down here. Maybe make a tower out of this section and then just kind of wall this off. But there's a lot of questions with that, and I'm not quite ready to set down any real groundwork. But I will say I would like to extend this out just enough that this becomes a more shaped area. And to that end, we will then add in the dry stone walls just around here, up to about this point. If we're going to put in a tower or anything else, I think we would be doing it over in this part here. So actually, I'll take this down just a little bit, and perhaps the tower can exist here. Yes, it is close enough. So maybe not a tall tower, maybe just too tall, and that's it. That should dominate the that shouldn't dominate, exactly the opposite of what I said. That shouldn't dominate the skyline too much, so hopefully it's not going to ruin the effect we have over here. But work continues apace on the library section. And actually, on that note, one other thing that I have considered is the way we're going to build the roofs. If we have a look at the way roofs go down, let's select just a regular limestone roof here. My plan was to have this section, that line along there, be a wall, and the roofs to go right up against it. But as you can see, we've got errors in placement there because we actually need the supports to be underneath that roof. We can't really lean the roof against the wall, which is effectively what I had in my mind. But we do need to add in a support section to allow that. So, to that end, let's go ahead and pop these in. That should be fine. That'll give us an extra little bit of support. And actually, along that line as well, I'm thinking of getting rid of this. I like the idea of having the kilns exposed to the elements. Then we can do something along these lines. We could have a roof section there, a roof section here, and perhaps, just to mix things up a little bit, rather than copying in its entirety the way that we've done these roofs, and by that I mean having the load-bearing walls with their own separate little sections, we'll do the whole of this in clay, but just allow this area to remain exposed above the kilns. I think that'll actually look quite nice. Okay, we're getting a little bit more work done out here. That's actually starting to be that's starting to go well. Down here, I'm thinking we could have some braziers maybe, and I don't know, maybe some flags or something along there. I'm definitely liking that design. That has that's been a little bit of a surprise win there, if I'm honest. Now, as for the towers that I've alluded to, I would like one up here, maybe a shorter tower over there, but a very tall, quite intimidating piece of fortification over here. A large tower, the sort of tower that you could imagine that we would sit a war machine atop, maybe a mangonel, or perhaps even the tower would be of sufficient diameter that we could even fit a trebuchet. Unlikely on that one. I feel that a tower that size would really just be a hall, a very tall hall. But we could definitely imagine a ballista or a mangonel positioned atop the turret. And then we'll build out the walls in this direction. But again, coming over to the Oak Brethren Shrine, I want this area to remain as uncorrupted by the industries of man as possible. This is where we will celebrate the old ways, not the new. That's for the restitutionists to enjoy with their brick chapels. But we've got a lot of work to do, as you can tell, and I will bring you back when we've made a little bit more progress with that. So see you very soon. Welcome back. It is autumn, day 8 of 1354, and I have come across a bit of an interesting problem, much like a problem that we have had with mechanical parts over here in the forge. We have hit a bit of a roadblock problem, a traffic problem with the orders of operation with the smelter. Now, both of these smelters were currently waiting on resources for steel ingots. Now, the problem is only the smelter produces steel ingots. So because both of them were waiting for steel ingots, neither one of them was ever going to be able to satisfy that requirement. So what I've done is I've added in smelt metal items, and I'm going to remove gold, and I'm going to remove steel from both of them. I will have iron ingots in both as well. So let's go ahead and pop that one in there. We'll do this one forever, because honestly we should just keep going with that. Now these ones are going to be used exclusively for smelting items and for producing iron. Instead, I'm going to have 2 new ones dedicated to the tasks of producing gold, and after that, we will also have steel as well. So these 2 can exist just down here in this little alcove there, and they will produce steel and gold items, which we don't make much of, I'm going to be honest. They're fairly uncommon for us, all things considered. To that end, I would also like to add in, well, you know what, before we build these, because I'm not sure if my people are going to be able to get in there in order to do that. But I'm going to go ahead, and I would like some more flooring around these areas. Let's go ahead and see if we can do that. I don't think we're actually going to be able to access the spots that we need there, but we can but hope. And then we'll have these areas kind of lining up then through here. There we go. That looks quite nice, I think. Quite nice. We could have perhaps a few more little bits and bobs, maybe some more decorations here. Honestly, I kind of like just having these flags either side there. That actually looks quite nice. That'll do then to get those smelters built eventually. So steel production is currently on hold while we're solving this. Settlers are starting to suffer from the cold. Well, it is actually quite cold outside, which also means we're no longer going to be producing any more sowing of crops. So what we've got right now is what we've got for the rest of the winter, outside of trees. But even then, we can't actually plant more trees. I'm just going through and I'm grabbing a couple of trees, trying to make it a bit more of an organic shape. Only going for mature where I can. There we go. I'll take you, and I'll take you as well. That'll give us plenty of sticks there. We have got a lot of sticks that we need to gather in order to build all of the traps. Another thing you might notice, I've moved all of our waste outside of the settlement. They're still hauling quite a lot, unfortunately. It's going to take us quite some time. Progress has done okay over here. We've got one now fully designated bedroom. The others, well, they're a bit of a hodgepodge as we're waiting for more clay to come in. Now, one of the things I'm starting to feel is that the sticks that we're using those on a lot of stuff. And it is starting to hurt us a little bit. But we've got this coal seam over here that we could absolutely make use of. Don't know if it's particularly visible to you in YouTube. I know that YouTube, when it reprocesses the videos, tends to make them darker. But that is all coal right there. And then we've got more coal down here. We've got a massive coal seam just over there. But let's start work on this one first. That one should be a bit of an easier one for us to gather. A little bit of wildlife out there as well. Let's take you down. We keep those smokehouses busy. I think I've actually at this point got every single achievement in the game but one. And that is for killing rabbits. I've got to kill 20 hares, and then I have all of the achievements unlocked, which should actually be somewhat nice. Let's get the old forest area gone. Let's get all of those chopped. There we go. And the rest of them, the oak trees, the field maples, the pine trees, I'm going to allow those to naturally progress across the landscape. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that when we first started out that you could only plant one type of tree. So as a result, we've lost the diversity of tree species, because obviously we only plant the birch, the fast-growing birch, around here in our tree farms. But I would really love it if we could just gently encourage the trees as they get to maturity to reseed and slowly spread around and eventually get some oaks in the Oak Brethren Temple. That would be wonderful. And then at that point, I would go out of my way to properly prune the different tree species and try to keep them in balance, but always have some oak there. Now, settlers are exhausted. Yes, I know. That's going to be, that's unfortunately going to be a constant problem for a little while. I hope you can appreciate that the work that you're doing is of utmost importance, and will forgive me for working to you until you're just about ready to just collapse on the job, as has been happening quite a lot for some people. You're very thirsty, cold, deprived of religious activity, exhausted and starving. Manu, I am so horribly sorry. But I can fix the cold. So let's go ahead and switch over to to our winter clothes. Now, before I do this, I'm actually going to grab this specifically, and then we're going to add it. I'm going to make a new one, and we're going to call this seasonal. I got a fantastic suggestion in the comments, and that is, instead of having to go through and change every single person in a colony with this many people, that's actually kind of a pain in the bum. Instead of having to go through and change every single person, we are instead going to set this up, clothing. I'm just going to change the one that they should be wearing, whether winter or summer clothes. I'm just going to have them wearing one type of clothing. I'll keep the winter and the summer ones because I actually, I guess it's just a throwover from programming, honestly. I like having the option to be ultra-specific if I absolutely want to. For example, we might have someone who deals with the cold really well. So we could keep them always in summer clothing. Because they just don't care. They don't feel the chill the same way other people do. And some people who are just petronaturally able to deal with the heat, we can just keep them in winter clothing. So having those little things there will mean that I don't ever have to change them around, which will actually be useful to me. But by and large, this should help in an enormous way. Now, let's make sure that everyone who's dropping their gear picks it back up again. There we go. You can carry them all around. We're going to see a lot of people running around and putting on new clothing. There we are. We're getting in the last bit of barley there. Okay, well, things are coming together. We're almost done down here, which is actually fantastic. We've got stupidly high levels of certain job skills. For example, if we have a look at, I think, Belial's construction, it's a 50. I don't think it can go higher than that. I really don't. If we have a look at Belial and we have a look at your skills there, yeah, 50 is the highest it can go. So once you hit 50, that's it. You really don't need to worry that much more beyond that point. Or at least there's no point in prioritizing them to get any kind of special reservation of certain jobs for the sake of encouraging them to learn. They aren't going to learn anything more. But having Belial do construction as a high priority just makes sense because he's bloody good at it. But beyond that, you know, we might want to start considering prioritizing other people for getting access to that so that they can do their jobs a little bit better. I am actually going to pull these down just to make sure that we can put the proper flooring underneath. That will hopefully allow this to really start blossoming in terms of its appearance. Again, more of my time is now spent trying to make this place look good and have a nice story to it than any kind of functional requirements. We've got enough beds. I'm not sure if the game is going to let us have many more people. We've got so many colonists to manage. But that being said, we're doing amazingly for food. We've got a lot of raw food stocked away, which is fantastic. We've got a decent amount of booze. Now, as for meals, I am being told that people can't eat smoked meat. It's edible meat cooking material. I mean, what about down here? Vegetable, edible, alcohol ingredient, cooking material. I don't think it categorizes a meal, which is really misleading because you look over here and you've got 539, and so you don't necessarily think to worry about it. But let's have a look. What are you currently consuming? It doesn't tell me, but let's have a quick gander. Is it going to say that you ate raw food? Yeah, they're eating raw food, and they're probably eating the meat. So that's a big concern. Because I hadn't been considering food a problem for us up until now. That is a grave concern, actually. We're waiting on workers over here, so clearly I need to put more effort into our workers for cooking. Let's have a look. We've got Bilal, Manu. Oh, Manu. Rebellious. Your settlers have had enough for the next several hours. Will not focus on scheduled tasks. Okay, well, that's fine. Though, ironically, you'd actually lift your own spirits if you did, but okay, no, that's fine. Bad Boy Rune, you're now going to get a priority 2 on cooking. I may even push that up to a higher priority. You've got a culinary of 7, that's good enough for you to get a 2. I'm going to have to deal with this. I may drop hauling down to a 3 for most people. In fact, let's drop hauling. Can I do that? Oh, I can. Let me do that a bit of an easier way then. Hauling down to a 3 for everyone. And I'm now going to have Bilal's construction drop to a 3. So Bilal should focus on cooking. We need to get people doing cooking when they are decent enough cooks above other things. You can remain on a... You can have that. Keep that on a 3. 2's down here, harvesting and cutting plants. Honestly, that's generally okay. So we're now going to have a couple of people who will quite aggressively prioritize their cooking over other things. I could perhaps have Bicklow join in on that. And sure, let's get Bicklow working on cooking at a bit of a higher priority. And as much as mining is good, Dander, I would like you working on cooking at a bit of a higher priority. Let's try and get some food into this colony. Oh, my lord. Yeah, I had not... It only just occurred to me. It's like, hang on a second. I remember someone mentioning that smoked meat, while it's categorized as a meal, is not actually a meal, and they'll consider it eating raw food. No wonder peeps are getting a little bit frustrated. Oh, well. Let's hope that this moment can be put behind us. But on the plus side, we probably wouldn't have seen the results of rebelliousness had that not been the case. So at least we got an opportunity to see that in action. I mean, look on the bright side, I guess. Is this cooking by itself? No, we do need someone to be basically constantly working this. I wish there were ways to increase the priority on stuff, but if it's not they're focusing on making drink, then people are getting upset because they haven't got anything to drink. And if they're not prioritizing food, then people are upset because they haven't got anything to eat. And it just seems like it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's not the best. Oh, man. You could have built that. Oh, well. I guess we've learned a lesson there. I didn't need to pull all of that down. But either way, hopefully we are going to be able to get through the next couple of days without anyone deserting us. Well, of course, I'll bring you back if that should happen. But for now, things look... I mean, they're not the greatest that they've been in Woven Tales, but they're still not truly dire. They appeared silently, eyes hollow, hair wild, smelling rancid and daubed with blood. We've seen it all before. They don't frighten us. They don't even have any trebuchets. How could we be afraid? No. They will fall, as all have fallen. Bo, hang on a second. You're a little bit concerning. Where are you? A giant with a massive battering ram. Okay, well, that's not great for us, I suppose. Alright, well, we've got a couple of things that are happening then, I suppose. Right, we've got a lot of items out and about that we still need to bring in. We have, however, just about cleaned up after the last raid, which, is a good thing. Food is... Well, don't believe what you see over here. We're actually not doing too badly for food. Oh, well, we're not doing awfully, at the very least. We have got some basic meals. I've changed around the production limits. It's a similar thing that I do in RimWorld. Make sure you've at least got some things before you start worrying about bulk producing the really fancy stuff. So we will produce 10 basic meals and then start production of a massive amount of lavish meals. And then if we've got all the lavish meals we want there, we just start production of, you know, some extra basic meals as well. Though honestly, I'm not even sure if we really realistically need this one. Maybe I'll pop something in like 20 of those just to be sure that we have a bit of extra stock of this sort of meal so that we continue to produce more lavish meals. But realistically, with these two in place, we're probably good. The smelting operation has been going amazingly so far. We haven't yet set these ones up, so let's go ahead and do that now. Until we have, let's say, 100 of them. Make sure that we're not using any... Oh, it's only coal that we can use for it. Never mind, that's good. And okay, over here, up to 100, we should be fine for the steel. Now, as for our enemies, they are more than likely going to swoop on down and attack us over here. So, for the time being, I would like these locked up. Make sure that we don't get drawn out into a fight that we don't really want to be a part of for now. There's plenty of wolves. Oh, no. Right, you need to be back here right away. Get inside. Go, go, go. You're doing a grand job collecting all of that coal, but I really... No. Oh, dear. Okay, that one needs to be defaulted then. Don't lock that up. But everyone needs to get inside right now. We had a lot of people outside. That was kind of worrisome. So make sure that everyone gets indoors, and then we will lock the doors. And then we should be safe. One would hope. We'll do another final sweep. Oh, the enemies are on their way. Okay. Right, okay. Well, time for us to get our peeps into position then. Actually, having had peeps up here would have been a good move. Russell, let's see if we can't get you over here so you can start dropping a bit of hurt on the enemies as they're wandering past. So actually, Russell's in a good position. Russell, you go here then. That's a good place for you already. Fui, you can be our highest wall archer. Dr. Lady Terra, do I really want you up there? No. No, Dr. Lady Terra, I would like you in here somewhere. Let's see. You can be right about here. There, that'll do. Malachi, you're almost in now. Let's get you in. Quick as you like, please. There you go. Thank you very much, Malachi. You're no longer drafted, and I would like this locked. Can I get Malachi to lock it? Prioritize locking the door. Perfect. Right. Now, Malachi, you're actually one of our main polearm users closest to the wake. You're the other one. Let's get you in position. Belial, you can be close behind. River Knight, close behind. Bicklow as well, standing off to the side. That should be everyone we need in place. Now, as for the enemies over here, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get into position, but everyone we now have out and about is good to be up on these battlements. Magres Polar Bear, let's get you up here as well, please. There you go. Everyone to your stations. Most of the peeps that are now drafted, we don't have to be concerned about. Only the ones that aren't drafted, because we know that they're going to be ranged weapon users. Let's get you in position over here. Now, as a couple of people have pointed out, it's like, well, what are the windows useful for? Because you just end up with people on top, and they can do the jobs of the people down in the windows. The windows are there for when we're dealing with ranged attackers. That's all that those windows are there for. Because it gives us protection from every angle. The ranged attackers would have to be stood here to engage us. Well, at that point, they've lost any advantage they had on extreme ranges, and we'll have more people able to focus fire on them one at a time than they'll be able to do to us. So it's really just tipping the battle in our favour, effectively. We're controlling the battlefield, and that's ultimately what you always want to do in these kinds of situations. You want to have control over who goes where, what they do when they get there, so on and so forth. Pepster, let's get you up here as well. And Melody Rose as well. Let's get everyone to your stations, please, and thank you. I think that's pretty much all of our peeps. Are you actually going to be able to hit anyone? No, it doesn't look so. Doesn't look like they're going to play for us right now. Well, we'll see. They are kind of moving in the general direction. Got a couple of shots going, but I suspect that you're actually going to be better up here. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to shoot past the trees. We're about to find out how much these trees actually block your line of sight. See what happens. Good shit. Shot on Roderick there. Good hit on Roderick. I was gonna try and say. Those moments when you try to merge two words because you're thinking faster than you're talking, and then you merge two words that create a word you really didn't mean to say. Oops. Though I imagine that's what Roderick was thinking while he was getting peppered with arrows from the walls. Okay, our enemies are turning the corners over here. Actually, Dr. Lady Tara, I would like you up here. I would like you very much to be able to attack their battering ram wielder. We don't need anyone in the windows. Let's get everyone down here. Go, go, go. Now's the chance. The moment we see the battering ram, we're going to attack you straight away. Let's stand there. Let's spread you out a little bit. There we are. That's perfect. My wife's biggest fan. I would like you down here. Mousy Karina, let's have you there. Russell, let's have you stood at this window. Fooey, you can go stand at that window. And Magra's Polar Bear, let's get you right around this corner. There we go. Right, let's take down Alric, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, you to kill Alric quickly, because I fear that Alric's going to be able to shoot in, or rather attack inwards, in the same way that we can attack outwards. So I'm worried that our peeps are going to get pretty messed up with there. Okay, we didn't get to find out ultimately. Theodric, they don't know what to do right now. And to be fair, this is probably a terrible scenario to find yourself in, so yeah, I understand the abject panic that you're now suddenly feeling and experiencing, watching our defenses do their thing. Okay, there we are. 16 sworn enemies died. Bad Boy Rune was the bravest of the settlers. Thankfully, no one was even harmed. No buildings were harmed. The enemy have been slain. Not a single one escaped alive. There we go. The power of woven tales, everyone. Oh my lord, so much cleaning up, though. There's a point... You know, you realise that your settlement's doing well when the raiders show up, and instead of thinking, haha, loot, or, you know, if it's a particular settlement, haha, food, you're thinking, oh no, cleaning. So much cleaning. Some might say that's a good problem. I would say that they haven't endured the terrible punishment that is watching our people hauling bodies to and fro to the funeral pyres. Watching all of this extra work. Literally, I don't see items on the ground. I don't see resources. I see work. So much work cleaning all this mess up. We're not even going to have it cleaned by the time that the next raid appears. Though, I will say that our smelters are actually helping out with that. I'm not going to lie. I'm actually reasonably happy. So much so, I'm going to add these in to help out with this. I'm going to add this to both of them. Let's dedicate our smelters to the important job of melting down anything that is damaged or not of a high enough quality. And we'll do that above the steel, simply so that we can actually get through all of these things. Because at this point, by and large, what we're seeing are enemies wearing metal armor. We're very rarely seeing textile armor anymore. And that's probably a good sign. It probably is a good indicator that Woven Tales is becoming a significant regional threat, and people are starting to take us seriously. Either way, things are going okay. I'm going to keep people in helmets and armor for now, but I'm strongly considering switching up to heavy armor for pretty much everyone going forward. Let's have a quick look. How are we doing with that? We've got 14 of 5. We've got 26 male helmets, and things are going reasonably well. I'm not gonna lie. What? Until you have 5 is... How does that even work? 5 of 0? Mother Dickens. But as I was saying, I think we might be able to actually just have everyone swap over into heavy armor at this point, and I don't really see a problem with that. So let's switch everyone over to heavy armor and continue along with the building work. No rest for the wicked. Certainly not here in Woven Tales. A relentless stream of wolves poured into Woven Tales, teeth bared, eyes aglow. Whether their sudden visitation resulted from hunger or playful destruction was unclear. Brandishing tools and shielding the stock, the settlers had to drive them off. This will not be difficult for us, though. The main thing is just to make sure everyone's inside, really, on this one. That said, I could just bring the entirety of Woven Tales out to meet them in battle, and I kind of think we will. Let's get everyone together and go meet the wolves and deal with them head on. Bring everyone together right about here. The wolves are streaming in and will likely come up to meet us. Hopefully we can get more people together a little bit faster than this. Lots of people all over the place. There we go. Let's get everyone together. There we are. Right, move. Let's go. And stalk closer to them as a blob. And we should just be able to wipe them out relatively quickly. There we go. A little bit closer. Now the arrows will start flying. The wolves are really not acting in a very sensible way, considering. There we go. We'll see a couple of people probably needing a little bit of medical tending after this. But honestly, the wolves realistically aren't a threat. You could manage this with like 3 or 4 archers and like 2 meleeers just to deal with any of the wolves that really do get close. You do not need any kind of fortification to deal with this. Not at our point anyway. But there we are. Nice and easy. All done. Undraft. All of these corpses are now ours as well. I've made a couple of changes to the standing orders that we've got. All of our smoke houses are now more or less holding steady. I don't need more than 250 smoked meats as potential ingredients, especially if we've got loads of meat in it. Now, I might redress that in the future, but even if I did, I'd only put it up to 500, and that would then help out. We are honestly not doing amazingly well yet with the cooking. We are constantly making stuff, and sometimes that's roasted meat, which is why I've reduced the amount that they're willing to make into smoked meat. Because smoked meat can only be used as an ingredient, but meat in the larder can be turned into roasted meat, which is itself a meal. Now, if smoked meat was a meal, and I honestly kind of feel it should be, then that wouldn't be a problem for us, but oh well. What's wrong, Dander? Let's have a quick look at you. You saw a dead body. Well, I mean, yes. The cleanup operation is going slowly, but you'll notice that is largely because I have massively, I've set for a massive expansion of our pyres, and I think that's going to help us out in a big way. But everything in Woven Tales is moving a little bit slowly right now. We are getting a little bit done here and there, but a lot of people are spending a lot of their time hauling things to and fro. Honestly, the limestone that's down here is a big part of that. We have not got enough storage space, once again, as is always the case, it feels like, for us to manage everything. So people are having to walk past a lot of corpses, and those corpses are not decaying because it's cold and they're basically refrigerated, which isn't the best thing in the world for us right now. But thankfully, everyone has got plenty of places that they can go and pray, and hopefully that restores their mood a little bit. We are making some progress with smelting things down, but again, it is rather slow. We have at least almost finished all of the bedrooms over here. We've got 2 more that we need to do, so I'm very hopeful that some of the constructors will get to that. But a lot of our constructors, it seems, are now busy keeping food going. Oh, there we go. Russell, proving me wrong. Thank you very much for that indeed. But there is quite a big slowdown now that we've refocused a lot of work on keeping people fed. And honestly, as far as things go, it's probably the higher priority right now. But thank you very much. Who is that? Russell, thank you ever so much for getting the scholars' bedrooms complete. Okay, that's at least something for us. As far as research, we've actually got a decent amount of research that we can do. But I'm holding off on this for a very specific reason, is because if I do research it, then suddenly there's going to be a bunch of books missing because they will now be reserved books. But I really don't have the storage space for them yet. We need to get the library finished to a point that we can actually start storing books in it as a matter of some urgency at this stage. So perhaps what I'm going to do is, as much as... Oh, thank goodness you've actually done it. As much as I was about to say... As much as I need all of these built and a few other things here and there, I should probably get work on the walls just so that we can start storing things in the library. But no, we have been saved. Thank you very much, Russell. It looks like things are starting to come together again. I'm going to go ahead and set burn forever, edit, It only should be enemy corpses. I'm going to not use wood or sticks. We're going to use charcoal out here from now on. Sticks, coal. We will add sticks back in, but not just yet. I've actually got a lot of uses for sticks, and that is actually slowing things down. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to burn, get the enemy corpses burnt up on the pyre, and hopefully when you return, we'll have a little bit more progress done on the library. So see you, hopefully, very soon. Welcome back, everyone. It is day 8 of winter 1354, and as you can see, some significant progress has now been made on the second floor of the library. We've got a lot of windows over here, not so many on this side because it would have quite blocked sunlight anyway. But what I'm thinking is we're going to have some sort of reading table over here, and in fact, to that end, let's go ahead and place one down. Let's find a medium table. Let's go for something. Well, actually, maybe not a 3. We've got a regular table there. Have we got? We haven't got a square table. That is rather awful. Okay, well, I suppose we're going to have to do our best with just this one then. That's a little bit out of place, but okay. Let's go for some nice chairs. We want 2 at the head, then possibly couple down here. Now this will be the reading area of the upper area of the library, and that's why we've got all of the natural light there, and we've got some braziers around this area. But this is going to be one of the store areas for the majority of the books that we're going to have here as well, and that's going to be a big help. Now I really hope that at some point they add in functional bookshelves, because honestly it feels like we really need that for this to have a proper feel for it. But we'll add in these bookshelves and then set up storage. But now we move on to the 3rd story of this building, and finally we can actually start to add in some of the actual ways in here. Now I'm going to want a decent amount of windows on that side. In fact, I'll want all 3 there. We'll want windows here, and of course on these sides. There we go. And naturally we're going to want a door as well. We don't need it to be a reinforced door. This is not the area with the dangerous books. No. On this side, I'm thinking, instead of having it extend all the way down here, I want light to be present in pretty much every area. But we can have a little roof here so that we can create more of a nice shape, and then a wall down on this side. I think will give the library a really fantastic look to it. It's going to be one of the most uniquely shaped buildings in the settlement. Let's go for, I think, limestone roof here, honestly. Let's go for a good old limestone roof right about there, just to make it stand out. Now, the roofs of the neighbouring buildings are much taller, but of course we're going up to a 3rd story. It is only the 2nd building in all of Woven Tales with a 3rd story, but this one will have a basement. Actually, that being said, so does this one. So I guess it's pretty much the same dimensions as our Great Hall. Oh, look at that. We've got meals down here. 81 lavish meals, 3 roasted meats, 10 stews, and 423 smoked meats. We've got a lot of raw resources down here as well, which is looking mighty fine. We've got plenty of drink as well. Slowly things are coming back together, and I'm ever so happy about that, because I was quite concerned. All right, let's, well, you know what, how many? 1, 2... You know what, let's pop these down like that, and then we can have the windows in the gaps. I think that will look absolutely marvellous. And this will cast light down onto the area just below, which is, of course, where we're going to be storing things. Now, to get up on top here to build the roof, I'm thinking we want a balcony going all the way around. Now, you can sort of imagine that this balcony would have its own little railing system. We can't fit one in, obviously, with what we've got, but it should still be nice. I'm hoping we can have some torches up here as well. I think that'll look really nice there. There we are. Pop in some metal torches. Fantastic. And we might even want them over here as well. You know what? We could have metal torches all the way along if we wanted to. Maybe we'll hold off on that one. Some more flags though. Definitely worth having. Let's have some smaller flags. There we go. We've got larger flags in down here. Not much lighting on that side, but it should be good enough. Then finally we will have our roof atop this building. Now, do we want a clay brick roof, kind of like we've got over here on top of the Great Hall? I'm not sure on that one. I think maybe sticking with the regular roof here might work out. That being said, you know what? I've changed my mind. No, I kind of like the idea of having it kind of fit in with what we've got there. Now, why is this not able to be built? Oh, it's because we don't have the limestone available. Okay, well, we can easily sort that problem out going forward. Let's just get this into position. And then the clay shingle roof there to match that design. And it'll look absolutely fantastic. And in a way, it'll match down here as well. Though there's a little part of me that now feels that I need... yeah, I'm going to have to change that one up. I need that one to be limestone brick as well. Otherwise, it's not going to look right at all. Though at this point, we now need some more stone. So let's get our miners down there. We've got a decent stockpile of coal over here now, which is looking rather nice, I must say. I'll get this one in here. There we go. Perfect. This is going to come together into such a good design. Now, are we going to have any sort of outside decoration? I would love some flags jutting out up here. So the protruding flags like that, just hanging from these areas. But we'll have to build a scaffold to be able to do that. And so I'm not really in a rush to take care of that particular job just yet. We've got enough other things to do. You'll notice we've also got the fence out here. I'm not going to lie, that took an inordinate amount of time to do. That took more. That took longer than almost the entirety of the second floor of the library to actually get done, because they just couldn't carry that many sticks around over here all the time. So it was such a long potch to get anything done. That being said, it probably also did have a little bit to do with the fact that we were using sticks elsewhere as well. But still, that did catch me off guard, just how hard that was to get built, how long it took our workers to get all the work done there. Make sure that we're still hunting fairly active. We're leaving the wolves alone. There's no reason for us to go after the wolves. The hares are the main ones that I want, and not really because I want the meat, but just because I feel compelled to get the completion of all of the achievements, honestly. With this, we will be very close to what I would say is a complete Woven Tales. We still need to set up the fortifications along this side. So we've more or less covered 3 sides of Woven Tales once the library is built. And then we're going to want to try and build up 2 large towers, one over here, one down here. I'm not really sure how we're going to get this wall to kind of marry into this. We might just have a stair going up there. That might not be a bad idea, and kind of have this open. And I'd more or less be okay with that, if I'm perfectly honest. Let's just have a little defensive fortification off here, simply because we don't have defenses here. It would kind of make sense in a way. The wooden walls over here, those I want to change. Not these ones, obviously, but these I do want to switch up to something more defensible. So having maybe something like this going along the back there, adjoined to some sort of tower here. And that way we could have roofs lining these. Though again, I would want straw or wicker roofs on these older dry stone wall buildings. This one can go. We'll replace that one. We'll fill that back in with clay, just to save awkward geometries with the roofs. Because right now, all of these kind of line up. I might even get rid of that one as well. All of these kind of line up to where I could build a wall, but this one and maybe this one, they kind of back straight into the temple area. So I'm a little less sold on that. That being said, maybe we could make an exception for these. Maybe we could do something with that. Maybe, in fact, what we could do is have these as a very different type of little cottage and get rid of the neighbouring room here. And that would be the transition where the more stone wall ends and then kind of bleeds into the more natural look of the Oak Brethren Temple. But I am committed to finishing this library in this episode. So with all of the design choices explained, I'm going to go ahead and skip forward to the finished product. See you in just a second. And with that, on the 11th day of winter, almost the 12th, almost midnight, the library is complete. We've still got a few decorations here and there to finish off, but the finished article is there for all to behold. Got so many windows up on the highest floor to shine light down inside, and we're even already starting to move some of the chronicles and some of the textbooks over here along with the thesis. We've got plenty of seating room for traveling scholars to avail themselves of whilst they're poring over the sacred tomes. Now, of course, we haven't yet prepared the secret archive beneath the library, but that's certainly something that we can work on in future episodes. Right now, I am just so incredibly happy to have the library itself finished. And just to confirm, there we go. It is a library building spread across 3 separate floors with neighbouring rooms for our scholars to the scholars of Woven Tales, the scribes and scholars to rest and perhaps even continue a little bit of their work of an evening. But that is going to be it for us. We've done so much work in today's episode. We've passed so much time. We have had so many things go on. We've even managed to do something that I wasn't really planning to do, and that is we have massively expanded our pyre setup over here. Now, as I said, what we're probably going to do with this wall is I'm likely going to just have some sort of stairs lead up into it, and that will be the way that we come down off that side into the pyre area. Of course, I do want a proper way of accessing the pyre area. We're probably going to put some stairs or something like that over here that lead up to it, but we're not going to take the wall all the way down here, and we will have some sort of defensive turret over here. Nothing much though, a fairly humble little design. We've still got the kind of forward outpost to finish at some point. That plan kind of got put by the wayside when we discovered just how ridiculously effective a single well-designed gatehouse could be, but I do want to finish it, and again we're going to want some sort of turret over here along with stone walls leading up towards the area of the Oak Brethren Temple. These houses will then get some proper roofs, and at that point I think we're more or less going to be complete with as far as the content that exists for going medieval, and I will have achieved the narrative goal of Woven Tales. Of course, there wasn't any particular goal to start with, but over time the story has written itself, really. But the final thing we're going to do, actually, I guess they haven't. There we go. No, pause. Damn it! They're moving books around, and I only have this tiny moment to try and set up some more research. Let's go and watch you pop those books down. There we go. I think the next thing we're going to be working on in terms of our research... I mean, I could pick up wooden weaponry, but it doesn't really seem like there's much point to that. I think it's going to be shields. Shields or armourer. We could go for the plate armour. We could go for the great helm. That would be nice. Sure, you know what, let's go ahead and grab that. There we are. So, in the next episode, we will also be able to begin work on some really nice new fancy bits of armor, and I'm actually thinking of expanding out this workshop to have 2 armorers areas in here to help with that load. But that is going to be it from me and from Woven Tales for today. Thank you ever so much for the support on this series. It has absolutely been heartwarming, and I hope you'll continue to enjoy and indeed to support the series going forward. But that is going to be it from us. So until next time, and as always, do take care, everyone.